Yo, what's up guys? In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys an update on a potential DeMar DeRozan contract extension, also talking about the Chicago Bulls once again being linked to Jakob Poeltl, and later in today's video talking about how it seems like Javonte Green is going to be the odd man out for the Chicago Bulls in this upcoming offseason. But before I jump into today's video, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Also leave a quick like below today's video, it takes a second and helps me out a lot, and leave some comments and questions below today's video about all the topics and articles I'm about to jump into. But nonetheless, let's just jump right into today's video. Also, I just wanted to touch on real quick, as I am recording and editing this video, Fred VanVleet, he did decline his player option about a few hours ago, and I'm just going to keep it short and simple. I like Fred VanVleet. I feel like he would be a great fit here in Chicago. He would bring a lot of things to the Bulls that the Bulls are missing: a lead playmaker, an upgrade at the point guard position, a real three-point threat, and he's a solid defender next to Zach LaVine. I just don't see it, I'd say, at all likely. He's gonna want way more money. That's why he turned down that deal. He probably wants a longer contract. Also, the Bulls don't have any salary cap going into this summer. The only way the Bulls could really entertain a serious offer for him would be in a potential sign and trade, even though I just feel like that's very impossible. This Bulls team doesn't have a lot of trade assets that this Raptors team would want, in my opinion. Leave some comments below today's video if you guys want the Bulls to target Fred. I love him. I feel like he'd fit great. I just don't see it being realistic as of today. But now let's jump right into a potential DeMar DeRozan contract extension, and let's just start off with, alright, this whole offseason long, I see a lot of articles, many NBA insiders have talked about and thrown the idea of potentially trading one of the Chicago Bulls' big three in this offseason, and I've said it in previous videos many times. I feel like if anyone does get moved, it's DeMar DeRozan. He just feels like the odd man out, and this whole offseason, all I've seen and talk about is potentially trading, or other videos or articles talking about what if the Bulls move on from DeMar DeRozan. Now let's just talk about, let's say the Bulls do run it back and maybe give DeMar DeRozan a contract extension. Casey Johnson did put out this article a few weeks back for NBC's Chicago, and he was just breaking down DeMar DeRozan's past season with the Chicago Bulls. And I'll make sure to throw up this tweet, but at the end of that article, DeMar DeRozan, he wouldn't comment on whether his agent will seek a contract extension from the Bulls this summer, saying he never worries about contract issues. And given how much roster work this Bulls roster does need, Casey Johnson did say it would be a mild surprise if the Bulls management seriously engages in such talks with DeMar DeRozan in a potential contract extension. And that doesn't surprise me. I like DeMar. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, but this Bulls roster has much bigger, I'd say, problems right now. And also a few weeks after that, Casey Johnson did put out his weekly mailbags, and a Bulls fan did ask Casey Johnson, do you think DeMar DeRozan will be traded this offseason? And Casey Johnson did say, if it's a yes or no answer, I lean towards no, but he's certainly the core member where my antenna is raised the most. That's definitely interesting. I mean, he didn't report that or anything. That's just his opinion. I don't see DeMar DeRozan honestly getting traded or an extension, but I guess we'll just see what happens in this upcoming offseason. And the next topic in today's video is about this Bleacher Report article that came out a few days ago, and they were just talking about the Chicago Bulls 2023 free agent big board and just players to target in this offseason. Now, Bleacher Report did list Jakob Poeltl as a potential free agent target for the Chicago Bulls. I'm just going to keep it short and simple. The Bulls have been linked to him this past trade deadline and the trade deadline before that, so he's been linked to the Chicago Bulls pretty recently, and that doesn't surprise me at all. He's a very talented big that this Bulls team was interested in at the past two trade deadlines. Now, who knows what the Bulls and Vooch are going to do in this offseason, so it really depends on what Vooch wants to do this offseason. I do expect the Bulls to bring him back, but let's say he walks or the Bulls sign and trade him. I could see the Bulls targeting Jakob Poeltl. You know, he's a paint rim protector that the Bulls have needed for a while now. Like I just said, he's been linked to the Bulls for honestly years now. I feel like he'd be a perfect fit on this Bulls roster, even though I do feel like he's going to be out of the Chicago Bulls price range. I mean, he blocks shots, he rebounds, and he can also survive any switch through 1 through 5 when needed. He plays sound defense, and he could be a tone setter for this Bulls team at the end. Now, on the offensive side of the basketball, he doesn't need touches. He sets very solid screens, which both would help with this Bulls offense that had the second highest percentage of offensive possession possessions finished by pick-and-roll ball handlers. And add in the fact that Jakob Poeltl is only 27 years old. He's someone who could hang around the Windy City for a while. He could be the center of the future for the Chicago Bulls. You can definitely debate whether he's more talented than Vooch and a better fit on this Bulls roster than Vooch right now, but let's just say Vooch does walk in this upcoming offseason. Would you want the Chicago Bulls to target Jakob Poeltl? And the final topic that I wanted to talk about in today's video is about Javonte Green. I feel like I haven't talked about him, honestly, in months now. And Ross Pins, huge shout out to him. He was formerly the Arturis fan club on Twitter. That's my guy. He put out this tweet, and it got me thinking, and I wanted to talk about it. And I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this topic also. And he did put out this tweet saying, with the Bulls potentially bringing back Andre Drummond, Derrick Jones Jr., and Vooch, it's starting to feel like Javonte Green might be the odd man out, and I hate to say this, but I do agree. You know, Javonte Green, he had some good stretches last season when he was healthy. He was kind of injury prone. He had a few injuries during the season, and he was kind of in and out of the starting lineup, coming off the bench. He was kind of all over the place, and then also near the end of the season when he did get healthier, I'd say kind of healthy, he really wasn't playing. And I am a huge fan of Javonte Green. I still remember getting him at the trade deadline, and honestly, I didn't expect him to play and have much of an impact, and he proved me wrong. I mean, he started a lot of games for this Bulls roster. He provided a lot that this Bulls team was missing, especially just energy when he was starting and coming off the bench when this Bulls team did come out flat. And I do agree with what Ross did put out on this tweet. I just feel like Javonte Green's the odd man out. I mean, he's a 6'5" shooting guard. He did it all for this Bulls team for the past few seasons now. Now, I could see the Bulls maybe bring him back for cheap. I would definitely be happy. But if they do that, and let's say, you know, Derrick Jones Jr. accepts his player option, same with Andre Drummond, and they do re-sign Coby White and Vooch, if you look at the roster after that, this Bulls team is just running back this roster. And in my opinion, you just can't do that, even though it seems more and more likely that this Bulls front office is going to try and re-sign all their main guys and maybe add a shooter or two. But at the end of the day, I don't even know if the Bulls are going to have money to add a shooter. The Bulls front office is going to have to be very creative in this offseason. At the end of the day, I wouldn't be mad if Javonte Green did come back for cheap. Honestly, he does seem like the odd man out as of today. I mean, he's only 29 years old. He's a 6'5" shooting guard realistically, but the Bulls are playing him at the 3, the 4, and the 5 at times. And like I did talk about earlier in today's video, he just wasn't really healthy this past season. He only played in 32 games. I mean, he did finish the season shooting about 37% from three-point range, which is solid, but that's on low attempts and low volume. I really don't see Javonte Green coming back, especially if this Bulls team needs to add a shooter or plans to. I know Arturis has said that, and he said that at his end-of-season presser that he wants to add shooting to this roster. Definitely leave some comments and questions below today's video talking about all the topics and updates and free agent targets I did talk about. Thank you guys for all the love on the channel in the past few videos. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Have a good one.